I had heard that this just judge lawyer story, which was a big sensational story published by Caravan, that was rejected by a few of the leading media, and then finally Caravan published it.
That's true. I mean, that I think that's another side of the debate of how many Caravan stories were rejected by other publications and found its way to Caravan. That list might be quite long. Judge Lawyer story is a classic example where it was first filed by a reporter working for another prominent national organization in Bombay, and the story was rejected. And then he brought the story to the Caravan. And I remember that day morning, the document, the first draft was lying on my table, and I thought it was some kind of Bollywood script. You know, it's like, you know, the characters are all real. Amit Shah's case, fake encounter case, Shorabuddin case, and the family, the judge, and you know, the judge was offered 100 crore bribe by a chief justice. $15 million, whatever, you know, and then the judge says, no, I don't want the money. And so here is a very trustworthy, sincere guy who is refusing to take the money. And then he dies mysteriously. And then the family is breaking the silence and saying who came with the offer of bribe, what was the pressure that he was under, and the details look like, oh my God, is this real? And I Googled the name of the journalist, and he was for real, and we got him a ticket to come to Delhi the same day, and then he reached very soon, and then we set up a news office outside of the office in one of our editors' home, and I moved the office printer, I carried it in my car, and then we set up a different office so that we could just work from the comfort of a home as opposed to being in office. And so there are, I mean, then the follow-up of that, because the planted stories saying that the Caravan story was wrong started coming in both Indian Express and NDTV, what were like the credible news organizations, so to speak. But then, you know, they also realized quickly that the ECG report, which was given to them saying that this was heart attack, was not adding up. The name was wrong, the time was wrong. Actually, it was showing heart attack on the ECG, the medical examination. So we realized that we had to put in all the resources to sort of to take the story forward. So we put some of our best reporters on the story. We had leads. We recreated what was going on in the postmortem. We had sources in the postmortem room. We showed which doctor was doing what and how the doctor was connected to people in the government. So all that details started coming. So probably in Indian journalism, you know, one of those stories where it had multiple follow-ups, like, you know, 28 or 29 follow-ups, close to 30 stories, I think. And still there are stories which are waiting to come on that in some way or the other. So that way, I think this is one example like that, where another organizations, to its wisdom, thought that the story won't fly, or whatever reasons. I haven't talked to the editors of those organizations, but for me and my colleagues, this looked like a story that should come out. There was no reason for a story like that to be buried and to be killed. So we kind of brought it to life, you can say, the other side of it. And when we were pushed, you know, and attacked for publishing that story, when we stood by it, and every day I can think of as the kind of pressure that we were witnessing. And the 4 judges press conference in Supreme Court, for example, and they said it's the judge lawyer case that, you know, was also the last reason for them to hold that press conference, how that was handled by the Chief Justice. And some of our own material on judicial corruption went into the first ever impeachment process on a Chief Justice in India. So, I mean, I was feeling that the investment that we had in terms of time and effort to look at judiciary and the corruption judiciary kind of had paid off well, at least in documenting that there is something wrong in the Indian judiciary.